Hello and welcome back to HWL Radio Sports. I'm here with the co-host.
Tony Edwards from Don't Stop Corporation. Guys, it's Thursday, first of the month, February 1st, 2018. The big weekend, a couple days away. It's ready showtime. But today, we're going to talk about the breaking news in the NFL. Alex Smith, longtime Chiefs quarterback, traded to the Redskins. Surprising move for everybody, but everybody kind of knew that they was going to give up with their franchise quarterback, giving him up for the trade, but we don't know where he's going. We know Smith is going to Redskins. And Smith had he's been in 5 years, 102 touchdowns, 33 interceptions. They're giving up a $17 million salary cap for 2018.
So is this big, like for a person that really don't understand, like who he is?
Yeah, because Kirk Cousins, they wanted to make him the franchise quarterback. But he was the last 2 years, he had a franchise tag on him. So now he's giving him up and putting Alex Smith there. So the big question is, where is Kirk Cousins going? So we don't know yet. Hopefully the Chiefs can sneaky sign him. He hasn't said where he's going yet, but we know Smith is going there. But Smith is 34 years old. He played the last four seasons. He took the Chiefs to the playoffs. So that's going to be a pretty big dilemma there going on, because where's Kirk Cousins going, and how would Alex Smith play a good big role into the Redskins? He also led the NFL last year with a 102 NFL quarterback rating. Alex Smith did. So it's going to be an interesting big move.
Okay.
Some other news in the sports world. R.I.P. Rest in peace for the former Pacers, Rasul Butler. He died in a car crash yesterday in Southern California. Him and his wife.
Him and his wife?
Him and his wife, man. It was a single car crash. Killed him and his wife, and it was Southern California yesterday about 1:30, 2:30 in the morning.
Did they have any kids?
So that was some breaking news. I think he had like couple kids. He had 2 kids. But I was sad because he was a journeyman in the NBA. He played for 13 years. He played for 8 different teams. So he was a journeyman. So a lot of people knew him. And he's a good guy, too. Good guy on top of that. He was 31. His wife was 38. So rest in peace for them. Mm-hmm. We didn't mention the other day, too. You mentioned about that triple-double James Harden got 60 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. The first ever triple-double with 60 points in NBA history. First ever to get 60 points with a triple-double. Shouts out to James Harden. He will be this year's NBA MVP.
So you said he'll be this year's MVP now? That blows LeBron James out?
Hands down. James Harden will be an MVP. No ifs and buts about it. You got to think about last year, he had second behind Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double through the whole season. That's what got him the MVP. James Harden could have snuck in there. But this year, hands down, and he still missed 2 weeks about a month ago with an injury. He will be an MVP, flat out. No ifs and buts about it. So pay attention to that. More breaking news in the NBA. The Cavaliers finally got to a 600 mark, 30-20. They beat the Heat by 2 points, led by LeBron James with 24 points. Mm-hmm. And then Jay Crowder hit a 3-pointer with 1:21 left, and that was a big win for them. So they still injured. Kevin Love will be out, so that's going to hurt them a little bit. But right now they're 30-20. They got a 2-game lead over your Indiana Pacers. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
Over your Indiana Pacers, because I'm Cleveland. Yeah. I'm a Cleveland fan.
I know you Cleveland. I can't switch with my Pacers. I can't switch with them. They're my Pacers. I got to go with them.
No, the home team balling though. The home team is balling.
No, well, they had a special on them yesterday about how they gelling. They playing with no ego. The Pacers are successfully becoming one of the better teams in the East, and led by Oladipo. Oladipo knows that's his team, and he's dishing the ball out freely and getting a lot of players involved. So that's big. Pacers, they had a big article about them, how they play with no ego, and that's been a big key right now. There's no superstars. We know Oladipo is the man, will be the man, but right now they play with no ego, so that's been a key.
So we can see him on posters downtown.
Oh, yeah, he'll be there. Matter of fact, he'll be not only just this year All-Star, he'll be a future All-Star, too, without a doubt. Okay. Other NBA scores last night, the Magic beat the Lakers 127-105. Hornets beat the Hawks 123-110. Kemba Walker scored a career-high 9 3-pointers and scored 38 points. The Nets beat the Sixers 116-108, and the Celtics beat the Knicks 103-73. Smashed them. Terry Rozier feeling good for Kyrie Irving. I'm telling you guys, look for that Terry Rozier. He's gonna be a future star in the NBA. He has 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Just the second player in NBA history with a triple-double in his first start. Y'all hear this? I'm going to say this again now. Listen to this name. Terry Rozier.
His first start.
It's his first start. Only 2 players ever did that. He scored 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists to become the second player in NBA history with a triple-double in his first start. And keep in mind, that's the guy who stole the ball from the Pacers, and when Pacers had them defeated about a month ago in his closing seconds, and went in for a dunk about 2 seconds to go. And I said, watch out for this guy. And look, he's still doing it. Terry Rozier, Boston Celtics, pay attention to him. Trust me, he's going to be a big part of the NBA run to the finals, too, for Boston this year. So keep a close eye on him.
Wow, that's ugly for Cleveland.
Yeah, because like I said, if you can get Kyrie out...
We don't need this damn news. Hey, just say that. We don't need this news now.
He step up and fill it to his place, hey, that's going to hurt him. So, like you said, that's going to be ugly. But trust and believe, Cleveland going to make a big deal before the February, so just be happy. That's going to help you out with Cleveland. They're going to make a big deal. They're going to surprise the world. They're going to shock the world. It's going to go down for February. They're going to get somebody, everybody going to be shocked. LeBron James is no fool. So trust and believe that. So college basketball last night, Virginia defeated Louisville 74-64 in the ACC battle. Purdue defeated Maryland 75-67, winning their 18th game in a row. And Michigan State defeated Penn State 76-68. Cincinnati defeated Houston 80-70, and the Arizona was a late game. And then Iowa State smashed number 13 West Virginia, surprisingly, 93-77. And Tennessee toppled LSU 84-61. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So back to your politics. What you think about that Trump the other day with the State of Address Union?
I wanted to break that down in layman terms for the people that really ain't into politics. So I'm glad you did speak on that, because a lot of people don't understand, actually. People don't really understand them big words in the neighborhoods and in the ghettos and everywhere else. Well, people, you ain't even got to be from the ghetto or in the hood, because there's a lot of people that ain't in the ghetto and the hood that don't understand politics fully, because I don't even fully understand them all the way yet, but I do understand enough to break it down for people what he was saying. So,
right.
So, go ahead.
They did say about this, the Nielsen rate, that was surprisingly. The Nielsen rate, he had 47.74 million people watching on 11 networks, to compare to Trump has 47 million followers on Twitter and 24.4 million followers on Facebook. So that was some pretty high numbers compared to the past. But people want to see, they was interested in what this man's going to say. Even though they don't like him, they want to say, what's interesting, what he got to say.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing, too, that I wanted to share with the world, too, because for everybody to hate him, there's a lot of them people like wolves in sheep clothing, because they really for Trump. But when it comes down to voting and writing down on paper, they for him. But they'll be with you, right beside you. I guess they like moles trying to infiltrate, see what y'all doing. There's more people for him than there is against them.
They're not going to tell you that, though. They're not going to tell you that. Because the American people, they're not going to tell you, because the American people, they want to be safe and they want to be satisfied. So they thinking him being a leader, they want him to show us the way. Even though they don't like him, but all said and done, they want best for themselves and the people in America. So they're going to shoot for Trump in the long run. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, because they're saying, because from what he was saying about he's bringing 2.4 million new jobs. And he's rising the wages for people. So that basically means, and like you said, today is February 1st. This is the month where everything's supposed to start going into effect. So you should be seeing an increase on your paycheck.
Say increase on paychecks and also bigger tax returns, too.
Yep.
So,
and
this is, like you said, this the month. Yeah.
And he said that the average family should see an increase of $4,000. Now, we know this isn't month, because, a lot of people, they don't really understand everything, so that's why you break it all the way down, because they like 4,000. Some people probably thinking, where I'm supposed to see that 4,000? They were speaking annually.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, if the average family is seeing 4,000, that means that if you're above average, you'll be seeing more than a 4,000 increase. That don't mean just because that don't your money, you're gonna see an increase basically, depending on where you are in life. If you at the bottom, you'll see $4,000. You in the middle, you
Okay.
might see 8, 12, 15. If you up top,
Okay. So
yeah,
so basically, everybody gonna come up in the ordeal. Everybody gonna come up. That's what you're saying in a
yeah.
nutshell.
Everybody's
Okay.
gonna see an increase personally. It's
That's
not just no
you
set.
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah,
And that's something promise that too. So if that's for promise live to be fulfilled, I'm not going to complain.
I know
Whether you like
it's
the man
written
or not.
into the bill. It's got to be fulfilled, unless the Democrats, which they saying that are trying to, which this big bill, they also said the Democrats did not near one of them voted for it. So when this comes to light to be a good deal for everybody and all the Americans, I want y'all to remember the Democrats did not want this. Not one of them. Remember the government shutdown? It was all Democrats that did it and caused it. It was because of this. And now you getting the money that was going to their pockets and they don't like it.
Well, like you said, though, they want them to look bad. Period. Even though even though he's doing something for the people, you can't look at that. You got to look at, like I said, I'm for the people. Period. Whatever's for the people, I'm for. Regardless if he's a Republican or Democrat. So people say, well, I'm a Democrat. Anything the Republicans do, I'm against them. You can't feel like that. You got to feel whatever's best for the people. That's what's best for America. And that's how I look at it. Because you got families, you got cousins, you got relatives over there. It may affect them. It may not affect you, it may affect them, but you don't want it to affect them. And you as well. So you got to be for the people.
Yeah.
So if he did something right, give the man credit.
And I'm also
credit.
also for the people, because when you're speaking about the people, there was one thing that does affect the people, and that was this one thing on coal, ending the war on energy and clean coal. Well, that clean coal has to go through a couple states, and there's neighborhoods next to them railroad tracks where all that coal is coming on, and it contaminates the air when it comes off. So what I feel should be done, because it's that coal export is actually good for America. The falling off stuff that's falling off, that's bad. That's bad for like people's lungs. It's bad for the air. It's bad for the atmosphere.
I heard that. It did. It mentioned that too.
So what I feel could end the big fuss is they find out a way to put a lid on, because they going on these trains. It's just open coal. The lid's open. So basically, put a lid on it, and everybody should be happy. Well, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think it's bad. It's awful because Beijing right now in China, that's what they're suffering for right now. They got it bad right now. They've been suffering for years for it. They even when they had the Olympics there, years ago, that was one thing they had going against them was they had one thing going against them was the coal problem and with the pollution.
Yeah,
so that became a big problem.
But that's the whole thing about us shipping the coal there, is because we have cleaner coal. We have cleaner coal,
right. But
it's still, when coal is being shipped, and a train, you can't even hardly hit the brakes in a 30. I don't know how far you got to be to hit a train brake, but it ain't like a vehicle. It just ain't gonna stop automatically. You're still gonna hit something. So basically, when this stuff is falling out, they just looking at it go, because they know even if I do try to stop, I'm still gonna spread it to I don't know, about a mile or two further still. So basically, the clean coal, the coal is clean coming from America going to Beijing. Is going to be a lot better than the coal that they got now, and that's why it is the way it was, and that's why Beijing wants us to get that coal there.
Right, but I agree too, because that's number one of the silent killers around in the world is pollution. It's been a silent killer for years, and people don't know. If we can combat pollution in this world, it'd be more lives saved. So it's a big thing. Something got to get it under control, because if not, it's going to have more people dying silently. So I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, so they do got to put a lid on it. That's the campaign. Y'all go for put a lid on it.
I support it. 100%. Definitely that. So we got some good games on tap tonight. If you guys are bored, very good NBA games. Rockets and the Spurs going down at 8 o'clock. Big game. Thunder versus the Nuggets at 10:30. Then you got a slew of college games. Villanova, Wichita State at Temple, McKendree at U of Indy here locally, Northwestern at Wisconsin. Then you got a big game at 11 p.m. on Fox, Oregon State versus Stanford. That's going to be a pretty big thing tonight. So if you guys bored, something to do Thursday night, you can tune in on that. And then, of course, get y'all stuff ready for the big weekend. They said the big thing to have this weekend is tacos and chicken wings. There'll be more chicken wings sold across the world any time of the year, Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So you start dipping them right now, getting your sauce ready.
Speaking about tacos and chicken, guess what else? Guess who else's all-time unemployment rate is at an all-time low? The Hispanics. That's what he mentioned. He mentioned the Hispanics are too.
Oh yeah. All time low. He did say that. Well, that's no surprise because they will work. Hispanics will work. It's a bunch of them, but they will work. So, of course, they're gonna be. If you give them a job for them, they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it. Give them a job, they're gonna take it. So, I agree with you on that. But he did mention that.
And then he also fired over 1,000 VA employees that were not treating veterans right. So that's pretty big too, because I know a couple people in the Army and the service, and when they gotta go to that VA hospital, they like, man, I don't want to go. Right. I'd rather not even go to the hospital to go to the VA hospital. So that's real big.
That's huge. One thing I'm gonna support you what you said with this whole thing. They said there was some truths and lies in the State of the Union address, but the big thing they talked about, they supported. Good Morning America stated this, guys. They said that Donald Trump, when he's talked about wiping out ISIS, that's a true fact. They said 93% of ISIS is pretty much wiped out. They said that's a fact on Good Morning America. So when you said the other day, you made that comment about you don't hear about ISIS no more, and they pretty much wiped them out. That's a true fact. You said it's stated by Good Morning. They said that's no myth. They say if you notice, they got 93% control of ISIS. So ISIS is totally dismantling itself in the world.
Oh,
still out there.
But this is the biggest. This is the biggest of them all. That affects everybody, everywhere, every state, every country. The 1.5 trillion infrastructure fix. So do you understand what that is?
That's what the overhaul with the tax scale I do with that too, with the restructuring of the.
No, that's what the build up of America. That's like making the bridges new.
The bridges, the highways, and all that, right? Yeah. I know that, but they said it's not. He's trying to get support for the Democrats now. So right now they ballot. They don't want to give him the full support. That's why he said Democrats and Republicans work together. They don't want to give him the overhaul right now. That's his next thing because they said the amount of money and that's going into it. And because there's a wall.
But what I want everybody to understand is we really do need this fix because the government is cheap fixing everything. And if you own a house or a home and you cheap fix something, you know what I'm talking about, because if you really fix something the right way on a home, it should last you about 10 to 15 years before it go bad. These cheap fixes that they doing to the streets, you see, they just fixed 38th Street. Before the snow even came, we ain't had that much snow. The plow trucks came along, we got potholes way bigger than the ones that was there before. That
tearing up cars.
Yeah, that money goes to where we can get actual cement streets instead of this little quick fix pothole stuff. And that's gonna be real big because it might not be your car, it might not be my car, but there's a lot of Americans out here that done lost cars to these potholes, lost vehicles.
If you pay attention to the streets, you made a good point. You pay attention to the streets, just pay attention. If you ride down the street, there's a lot of cars pulled over with the axle broke or the tie rod broke because they hit a pothole. Like you said, it's tearing the cars at an all-time high. So if you don't have insurance, you better get some quick. I'm telling you, because it's tearing cars up right now. I mean, seriously, it's bad. It's bad right now.
And then that's not the end. In Georgia last year, because we was in North Carolina, a whole bridge fell down. A whole bridge collapsed. And this is going on in more states than just the one in Georgia. But the whole thing is, the government been knowing we need these things fixed, but they ain't want to pass the bill. They wanted the money in their pockets, Not to fix
Right.
America,
But
just
you,
their pocket.
but did you hear about what China said? When China talked about us 2 years ago. China talked about how we need to thump our infrastructure game up because they said we're behind. They trying to get the United States to be on their level as far as infrastructure, but China they said we are behind time. Seriously, they said because of the rate they go as far as infrastructure, they're putting us in dust. And you're right. We got to get better products and better more into our stuff here in America as far as bridges, highways, and houses.
And then
Yeah,
and another big point that he made though is that the FDA that approved at an all-time high generic replacements for people, like knee replacements, heart things, and everything. My uncle died from having one of the little heart monitor, one of the
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
yeah, from one of their generic heart things. So
right,
that's real big to where they they getting funding to get real top of the line stuff in people
instead of cutting the corners.
Yeah,
trying to save money. It's best to get the best product.
And he also
that's what remains to be seen.
And he also said that he's signing the bill right now for the medical, like you know how like they got cures for cancer, they got cures for AIDS, but you hear these big stories of people got to go to Africa.
Cheaper medicine.
No, I'm saying, but he also said about the cures, like you know how people got to go to Africa because America
across seas to get this cure right. Exactly.
Yeah, because of the money thing. It's the big money scheme.
Right.
So he's moving that out the way because you know one of the Rothschilds they can get the cure, but you know you can't, I can't. But one of the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, or something like that happen to them, they can go to Africa, they can go to Cuba, they go wherever they need to go to get that cure. But he's bringing all that to the United States.
Magic Johnson at age of 1993, he's still living. It's 2018.
Yeah.
What that tell you? It's people with money. Yeah. That's case closed right there. That's a slam dunk. Yeah, it's been a slam dunk for years. There's no secret that people got money and to survive. Just like with cancer. People say with cancer, this and that. Cancer take a lot of people out, but people with money always seem to learn how to beat it and fight. Prime example, Chuck Pagano, Indianapolis coach. Look at him. Beat it.
But all these things that he's doing, though, you got to look at the person that he is, the place that he is in life, to where you say that he has like a ulterior motive. You got to look at where he is in life. He's helping the lower middle class more than he's helping the big people. You got to help the big people because why? Big people got to pay people. They're the ones employing people. So you got to give them tax cuts. You can't be a hater. You gotta basically like people being greedy. You didn't make all the right moves to be a millionaire in life. So you really can't be mad at a millionaire for getting a tax break because they gonna be the ones that employ the lower class. And
True.
that's gonna
an excellent point.
And that's gonna help them build more jobs by building more facilities because why? They have extra money. It just makes sense.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. So
yeah, that's gonna be the show for today. So go ahead and shoot your shot.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day on this Thursday morning, 2018, first day of February. Have a great day and be good to yourself as well as to others. Thank you.
All right. And there you have it, another good show, HWL Radio Sports. So go ahead over to hwlradio.com, download the music app, new music up today, yesterday, every day. Just say that. But like I always say, hit my motherfucking music, and I'm out.